Great. Well, I will say greetings from Germany. For those of you that I have not had the pleasure of meeting yet, which is a couple of us, my name is John Irvine. You probably tell from my accent that I come from Scotland originally. I've been living here in Germany now for 29 years, and I'm actually almost a German citizen once my paperwork comes through from the UK when I sort of gave up my British passport. So that's exciting. I joined this opportunity, I think, about 8 weeks ago, 9 weeks ago, somewhere in there. So I'm sort of quite new to this as well, but I've been around the industry for quite some time, and Derek's invited me along just to, just pass on some of my wisdom, pass on some of my knowledge, because there's certain areas that we all struggle with at the beginning. I certainly know that I did until I kind of figured it out. And the figuring it out bit, it can be frustrating because sometimes we're in a position where we just want to get on with it, but we just don't know what to do, and we don't know how to plan it, and we don't know what to say, and what is it we're actually in, and where do we find these people, all these kind of things. So what I decided to do this week was that last week, in fact, I'll give you a quick recap because you've not been on this training before. Linda. I've seen Karen before as well. Hello, Karen. So I'll just give a quick recap. What we've covered so far is we've talked about, when we want to get things done, we know we should get some things done. We would get some things done, but we find ourselves not doing those things. And quite often we have this big question mark, why am I not? I know I want to do it, but why am I not doing it? And it's not because you're lazy, and it's not because you're procrastinating. It's because of that you are not motivated to do something. I'm not going to cover this time, but we broke that down about external motivators and intrinsic motivators. And we'll cover that subject again at some point, I'm sure, in the future, because there's only sort of base subjects that we really need to know. We don't need to go too wide on this. We've covered some other subject as well, and there's some recordings that Derek has done and put in the group as well that are available anytime, and you can obviously go through those training sessions at your own leisure. But what I've decided to do this time is that we have the core skills in this industry, and the core skills basically are we need to find people, we need to have conversations with people, we need to invite people to have a look at some information, we need to follow up, and then for those, where applicable, we get those people who are interested started, onboarded, and integrated into the system. Then we basically, we give them support to help them have a good start, because it's important to make money fairly quickly, within the first week or so. Then even if it's only, $50 or $10, it's still money. It's actually quite more. That's more money than a lot of people make in the industry. So what I wanted to cover this time, last week, I actually put a document into the chat, and I posted the document, or sorry, Derek posted the document that Fraser Brooks basically produced, and it's a flow chart. You see, there is a process for how we do this, how we reach out to people. There is a process, and what we tend to do if we don't know the process, we tend to go all over the place and end up messing it up. So therefore, we get frustrated. We're reaching out to people, we're not getting the responses, we're saying the wrong things, they ghost us with all of these things. The process is actually very simple, and that was what I wanted to cover this time. So Fraser Brooks, this is not original material. I borrowed it, if you like, from Fraser Brooks, but it's called FAM. Let me just put this on silent. And FAM basically is an abbreviation for find, add, and message. And that's basically all we do. So what do we mean? I'm going to break this down, and then we'll do a bit of a role play with Derek. And so, Brett, where do we find people? Well, here's a good place to start. I mean, that we can find people. There's social media all over the place: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, internations. There's just too many to mention. They're everywhere. There's billions of people currently. I mean, there's over 1 billion people alone on Facebook. So finding people isn't a challenge. But who are the people that we want to find? There's a bit of criteria there. I posted something recently that I got a good response from. And if I can just remember, it's your job in network marketing is not to waken the sheep, but to waken the sleeping lions. Now, there is a difference in quite often we try to wake up the sheep, and we spend so much time trying to keep them awake, motivate them, get them started, get them to make a decision. It's just a waste of time. So we want to up the ante a little bit. So who are we looking to find? We're looking to find people like ourselves. Ask yourself this question: why did you join this opportunity? Everybody's got their own reasons, but usually generally towards either extra income, more time, better quality of lifestyle, achieve some goals, paying off some debts, buying a house, paying off yours, whatever. They're usually pretty common. So think about the person that you are, and then think about a person online somewhere that would be similar to like you are. So when we find people, that is easy to do. You just have to look for people, like-minded people, and you also want to be connecting with people that are making some stuff happen. If you go into the profile and there's like the last post was like, January 2017, it's very unlikely they're active, not just on social media, but probably not active on life. That's just how it is. So you want to find good people who are active, and you also want to find people who are open. And I don't necessarily mean open to what we are doing, but just generally open. They have that sort of mindset of, I want more from life. So these are the kind of people that we're looking for. So we can find people, and then when we say add people, adding people is dead easy. We've got two acronyms, and one is LORD and FORM. Now, the LORD, and that's on the document, stands for location, occupation, recreation, what they do in their spare time, basically. And then the M stands for the message, whatever it is you want to speak to them about. And the FORM is more designed towards people that we have a bit of a relationship with. It might be friends, family, acquaintances, work colleagues, whatever. And that stands for family or relatives, occupation, recreation, and again, the message. So if I was going to reach out to somebody on Facebook as an example, because I come from an ex-military background, it's easy for me to have a conversation with somebody from the military. Because I come from, say, renewable energies, I can have a conversation quite happily about renewable energy. Because I come from personal development, I can have a conversation about personal development. So connect with people that's got stuff in common. If they're a computer scientist, as an example, that's just a broad example, and you have no clue about computer science, it's going to be a very, very difficult conversation. So try and pick people that you can actually have a conversation with. So that's the ad bit. So you could say something like, hey, Derek, let's say Derek's from Manchester and I'm from Manchester, so I can talk about Manchester as an example. I'll say, hey, Derek, see you're from Manchester, as I am too. It would be great to connect. How are you doing? And just wait for Derek to respond. So Derek will respond, and then we get into a conversation. Now, let me just break the getting into the conversation bit. Now, there's two ways we can either have this conversation. Derek's good at this. He's got his own way. I've got my own way. Everybody's their own style. There is no one size fits all with having conversation. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. But when I have a conversation, I might approach it in two different ways. Now, on the sheet that I posted in the group, Derek posted in the group, it mentions direct or conversation. Now, the conversation, as I've just alluded to, you can actually break down into, what they do for a living. You can have any conversation with anybody about what it is they do. You can also, if they've got things in common, like you play golf, you go fishing, you play tennis, any kind of recreational sport, you can have a conversation with people about that as well. Or you can direct message them. Listen, you can, this is just an example. Listen, I would really love to spend the time to get to know you, but right now I just have a very simple question. There's a couple of versions of this, but you could just ask them, because at the end of the day, our job here is, apart from having a conversation, everything else, it leads up to one area, and the one area is to get a decision. Are they open to taking a look at what you're doing? That's what you want. You want a decision. So everything that you do up to that point leads to, are they open or are they not? If they're not open, that's great. So what if they are open? Fantastic. We'll go into the next bit in a minute. What if they're not open? Well, that's fantastic. Continue the conversation. Why would we continue the conversation if they're not open? Because the key here is building a relationship. Now, the not open bit doesn't mean to say that they're not open. The not open bit means that it's probably the wrong timing in their lives, because timing is everything. I'll give you an example of that. Let's say you reach out to somebody and they've just been promoted and they're getting an extra, I don't know, 10,000 a year on top of their pay packet. The chances of them being open may be very slim to none at all, because they're excited, they're getting more money, they're making things happen. But then again, if you reach out to somebody and he was given his notice yesterday to leave the job at the end of the month and he's got no other job to go to, the chances are of that person being open are probably quite good. So that's when we break down the open bit. It's usually never a definite, I am absolutely not open at all. Usually that's an to interpret that is this is the wrong time, and it just comes in a different context, like, no, I'm not open. What he's basically saying is, well, I don't know you, I don't like you, I don't trust you. That's why the conversation, excuse me, the conversation is important. You've just got to understand the psychology behind when somebody says no or not now or I'm not open. So, and you can study that. So let's say that they are open. Great. So then we come to the next core skill, is we need to invite them to take a look at some information. Now, we don't hit them over the head with a full presentation at this point, because it's too much. We just want to give them a pique their interest. We have 2 amazing videos available. And in our group, we've got some other stuff specific to Apple as well. But we basically invite them to have a look at the 4-minute video. So if I was going to ask Derek as an example, okay, Derek, fantastic. Listen, I can send you some information. It's a visual thing. When have you got 5 minutes available to take a look? Now, Derek can say one of 2 things. Well, actually, I've got 5 minutes available now. Oh, fantastic. Listen, it's whatever time it is now. It's 10 to 9 now, my time. I'll give you a call at 9 o'clock. Does that sound fair enough? Yeah, sure. It always is. So I send him the link over. It's 5 minutes long, or it's 4 minutes 45, I think. He has a look at the information. I call him back at 9 o'clock. So he's had a look at it. We've already agreed on that time. And I ask him the simple question. I don't ask him, has he had a look at the information yet? That just, no, I've been too busy. You don't want to get in that conversation. I am assuming that he's looked at it because we've already agreed on it. So I asked Derek, what did you like best about the information that I sent you? Or what appealed to you most of all? Or what stood out for you? Somewhere along them lines. Just get comfortable, whatever you feel comfortable with. And Derek will give me some feedback. We'll do a bit of a role play in a minute. And so based on that, I will then say, from that point on, I would invite them to have a look at the full overview. So we have the Monday and Wednesday meetings, and we also have a recording. Okay, great. Listen, I'd like you to invite you to have a look at the bigger picture, if you like, or the full overview. And I would tie down a time on when he's available to come along on Monday or whatever. And that's just one of these things. It could be many different options. Well, I don't have time Monday, I don't have time Wednesday. But don't send any information if it's a recording until you get a commitment, because quite often we do that. Okay, I'll send you the link. And then 3 weeks later, you still haven't got an answer. When you go down that road, it's just a lot of time wasted. It's frustrating and nothing ever happens. One thing I'll say here, that you definitely, each stage of the invitation process, need to definitely 100% get a time commitment when that individual can look at that information. If they say they're going to come along on Monday, fantastic. You would just remind them up until that point, just to ensure that they come along. Because at the end of the day, what we want is a decision. And here's the thing about getting all these decisions. We need to compress the time down into the shortest possible time span. So you don't want the initial contact to the close, if you like, being 2 weeks later. You need to compress that down to the shortest possible time. So you invite them along, and then they say they're getting started. So from all the information that you've saw so far, do you have any questions? Are you ready to get started? oh no, I have actually got a question, and it might be about the product, it might be about the compensation plan, it might be about whatever. You can then go back to answer that. Okay, so we've answered that question. Do you see any reason why you can't get started today? And there'll be something. No, I don't actually. Great. Okay, what have you got an Apple Watch? Have you got an Apple phone? No, I haven't got an Android. Okay, download the in-person. Do that there and then. Don't allow the person to do it because they won't do it. They just don't. They just forget. They don't do it deliberately. It's just life gets on top and the wife's saying your dinner's ready and the kids need to go to bed and they forget. So you get a commitment there and then while you're on that call or when you're on that Zoom call, download the In-Persona Pro app and I'll send you a code. At least you've got that done bit. Okay, and this is the close bit. Now this works. You can just say, how much can you afford? No. Give him the options. Now it's like in sales, because we're essentially in sales here. We have the biggest package that we have, the biggest NFT is 3,000 and the smallest is 325. We do have the 35 as well, but we don't talk about that. So we say, look, the biggest NFT is, or the most expensive, or whatever you want to say, is 3,000. The smallest one is 325. What we've found is most people, because people like to go with the crowd, most people join at the 2,000 level. Where do you see yourself getting started? The 3,000 or a lower package? Well, I can only afford 500. Great. Okay, that's fine. Don't try and push for the big one if they can only afford 325. That's great. Okay, well, you've downloaded the app. I've given you a code, so keep it on the call. Go into the app and you'll see, click this button, go into there and you'll see the Halo store and the NFT store. Click on that button. What do you see? I see this. And take them through the process. Get him started or get her started there and then. If you leave them to their own devices, they will not do it. It's maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 20, 1 in 50 will do it there and then. Most people tend to procrastinate. That's why it's important to keep the flow going until they've done it. Okay, great. You should receive your package within, I don't know, wherever they're based in the world, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, whatever. And then you wait till they get their package and then you get them set up properly. Make sure they compare their NFT to their watch, etc., and introduce them to the group and get them started properly. So it's a dead easy process. So let's back up a little bit. That was nice and smooth. That doesn't happen all the time. That was nice and smooth. In fact, it doesn't happen most of the time. Let's say, for instance, you say, right, okay, Derek, when have you got 5 minutes available? I've got 5 minutes available now. Great. I'm going to send you some information. It's a visual thing. I'll give you a call, 10 minutes time. You give him a call and he ghosts you. Who's ever had that before? They ghost you. So what do? Okay, well, you just send them a quick message, say, hey, listen, I gave you a call. It might be that you're busy, or it might be that you're not interested. If you can just let me know what it is, that would be fantastic. So they get back to you and say, listen, I'm really busy at the moment. Okay, great. So you put that in your ledger because you're documenting all this stuff, to follow up later on. And you say, I'll give you a call. I don't know. When's a good time to give you a call? Give me a call on Wednesday. Fantastic. Put it in your diary, call on Wednesday. So you leave them a message. Hey, listen, give you a call. Are you busy or are you not interested? Let me know. They ghost you again. The next bit is It's called next. They're just not interested or it's not the right time. Just put it in because I have a document here where I say initial information, follow-up, etc. So I tick boxes as I go along and I might just touch base. Now, here we go, the follow-up. Now, what we learn in the industry is the follow-up means that they've looked at the information and we follow up. There's actually more to the follow-up than just that. Let me explain that. Following up doesn't necessarily or doesn't actually mean just the follow-up, whilst that's what we do, but there are more versions of follow-up than the actual follow-up itself. Let me explain that. Is that you follow up, get people started, etc., or you follow up, it's not me right now. Now, I'm going to give you some statistics here, which will blow your mind. Now, the majority of people, and this is sales-based, but it's also network marketing-based as well, the majority of people, they might follow up once, and that's it. They might follow up twice, and that's it. This will shock you here. Do you know that 80% of the most sales get done on the 5th follow-up? Wow. Isn't that amazing? How many people follow up 5 times? And when I say following up, it doesn't mean to say you get in touch with them. Are you ready to get started? Are you ready to get started? That's not what I'm talking about. Following up might be just a quick message. Hey, think about you, just wanted to reach out. That's a form of a follow-up. Hey, listen, just wanted to keep you updated. Because if somebody is not the right timing, you can ask them very, very politely, listen, no problem at all, understand. Do you mind if I just keep you updated? Do you mind if we keep in touch? So that's him giving you permission to follow up. And a follow-up also comes in a form that you might not even have thought about, because this guy or this girl is watching you. And I get it all the time. I mean, I've got people who follow my posts. I don't even know these people, but they follow my posts. So guess what? Let's say his name's Derek, because that's his name. He's not ready right now, and he's sort of keeping an eye on me on social media, and I'm putting posts out there. It might be a results post, it might be something about Apple Watch, it might be something he's following you, and it might be at some point, at the point of readiness, like right now, that post comes in, assuming that you're posting, of course. That's why it's important to put stuff online. And he says, do you know what? I spoke to Derek, I know 5 weeks ago, 2 months ago, whatever, 6 months ago, and he was talking about that thing. The point of the right time in his life has just appeared at that point. It makes a connection. He gets back to, it gets back to Derek. You say, listen, we spoke, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago about that thing. Do you mind running that by me again? That's why it's important to have the process, understand the process, and keep with the process, because you never know. It's all about timing, assuming you've got the right person, of course, but it's all about timing. And because I said no the first time, remember, most sales happen 80% of the time after the 5th follow-up. And I've just explained to you what a follow-up and what form that comes as. It doesn't necessarily need to be direct or verbal. It could be a post, it could be anything, or it could be just a quick, hey, just wanted to update you. Amazing, man, things are going through the roof, great. We just, 5 people join. It's just, you're not asking them to join, you're just keeping them updated. And that's the sort of a follow-up. Does that make sense? Give me some feedback, talk to me.
Yes, absolutely, makes sense. Yeah. Follow up. Sometimes we probably need to follow up in 7 times if you feel this is the right person. Like today, I was after that person, not after the person, but it's just keep going, because sometimes we just have that feeling that this is the right person, and maybe the time was not right, as you say, John. But yeah, makes sense, totally. Have the process and follow up with that process.
It is. There was, I heard this, Ray Higdon mentioned this many, many years ago, and it's actually it's very, very fundamental. Somebody asked him, Ray, okay, let this follow-up thing, when do you stop following up? Now, this is actually quite good, because you can go way beyond 5 or 6 or 7 times. When I say it's not, are you ready to join, ready to join, that's not the follow-up. I just explained what we do there. Ray Higdon said, and this is like very, very good. He says, I stop following up when I read his name in the obituary.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? I mean, just keep them in mind. But the thing is, obviously when they pass on to the next dimension, no point in following up, because it's just going to be difficult.
Not yet. Probably we will be there one day, but not yet.
But I've got a sheet of paper, like I said, I've got my sheet of paper here, and I'll just give you, I'll mention what's on there. I put their name, and then I put the source. The source is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, cafe, that kind of stuff. And then I have a box that says introduction. So the introduction is that I basically like sent them the 4-minute teaser, get a response, then I send them the full info, do the follow-up, and then it's either a yes or no. And if it's a no, not yet, or whatever, I've got it here. And I'll just fill my lists out. So I then, and I put a date in there as well when I actually made the initial contact. So when I go back on my sheets, I think, oh God, I spoke to that person 3 weeks ago. And it gives me a reminder to reach out to that person again. So it's like my database, it's my raw material. And it's important to not just keep these things in your head, but we need to document this stuff, because we have a business. Imagine if you didn't document your business and it measures your cash flow and your outgoings. It would be chaos. You're just, if you fail to plan, you've already planned to fail, because that's just, and it is a business. I know we only paid, a few $100 to get in, but it is a business essentially. It's the same principles, the same mindset, the same discipline, the same time management, all of that stuff's in there. It is a business. So if we can't treat it like a business, then treat it like a job. You would always show up at your job every day, show up at your business every day, because consistency always beats intensity. Imagine if, I'll give you an illustration of that. Imagine if you thought to yourself, okay, well, I'll just have a really good, solid shower on Monday morning and expect to stay clean all week. It's not going to happen, is it? It's consistency that keeps you clean. And it's consistency here that go through the numbers. And it's like, the old adage of a deck of cards, 52 cards, 4 aces. And you get 2 jokers. We'll get the jokers as well. You would just get rid of them. But that we know for a fact that there's 4 aces in a deck of cards. And if you were to shuffle them up intensely and start going through the cards, let's say you turn over the first 10 cards, there's not an ace. Does that mean, well, we know there's 4 in there, but a lot of people will speak to 10 people or even 5 people and say, well, this doesn't work, that they're not out there. Well, just look around you. There's people in Vivo in Persona making this happen every single day. So it clearly works. But we just have to keep flipping the cards, and eventually we will come across the aces. And here's the thing that's worth mentioning, is that this isn't all about getting, hundreds of people personally sponsored into our business. Do you know that it only takes 2 or possibly 3 good leaders? They will make you a fortune. I'm talking about the sort of people we are. 2 or 3, not 5 or 6 or 10. Not many people, not many top earners have like 10 really good people. Your most millionaires, like network market millionaires, might only have 2, 3, 4 top leaders. They'll have other leaders as well, but real top performers that will make you a fortune. And these are the people we're back for. Remember, you're not out there to try and waken up the sheep. You're out there to wake up the sleeping lions. So if we do a quick role play, and I'll just put that into sort of practice, and that maybe makes sense. Before we do that, does anybody have any questions at all on anything we've covered, including this evening? I mean, don't be shy. There's no wrong question. The only stupid question is the question that you don't ask. So ask, take the opportunity while we're here.
John, so what program do you use to have a register of your contacts? You just
I just made it up. I just made up words. It's a Word document. I just print them off. Old school.
Okay.
Old school. I print stuff off and actually write on it.
I thought maybe you have some fancy app.
No, I don't. This is just old school piece of paper here.
Fine. I just
Whatever it is, you can't see it, but it's there anyway. I just have that because it's good to have a look, because the computer can crash, whatever. I just like to keep old school bits of paper, and then I can learn, I can practice writing as well, because we don't do that very often either.
Yeah, good.
Actually, my son Josh, he's into all this AI and finding useful things online. So he's not here right now, but I can always get him. There's something he found which helps you to keep track of everything. Which is quite
there's some great technology.
You've got one as well, haven't you? What's that one you've got? The app. You've got that app that helps keep track of everybody you're talking to.
Who's that?
Can you hear me?
Me? No, I don't have an app. No, I have a page-a-day diary, and I move people from page to page. And,
all right, so
and then I move them off. Yeah. No, I move
Laura.
them off. Yeah, go
Laura
on.
was, which is on the training group on Facebook, isn't it? It's on the trainings of her.
Oh yeah, that's a bit different. What I've got in Facebook is a system I purchased on behalf of everyone, where they can actually get results from LinkedIn. So on there, I've got everything step by step. I paid a lot of money for it, for the whole team, to enable them to make their LinkedIn be able to produce proper prospects. and then the rest, and all the way right through to sign up. But obviously, the added bits is I will be covering in more detail in due course, but all the rest of it is fairly straightforward. Once you've set it up, it's the setting up that takes a bit of time. I think Cynthia's done quite a lot with it so far as I know. Cynthia.
Is that something that is described?
Yes, I'm using
somewhere?
it.
Yeah, all you have to do, Linda, is join. I'll send you my link to my Facebook, and once you friend me, then I'll add you to the group. But it's step by step with videos, with Google Sheets, everything. So you can even set up your LinkedIn to schedule daily posts for a month. And then after that
Yes, and
month, we show you how to use ChatGPT.
we got lots of useful tools to
Yeah.
add content to LinkedIn.
Yeah, I roughly get about 20 contacts per month, and out of those 20, probably about 5 or 6 are willing to talk to me, and that's good.
Awesome. Great.
Okay. So yeah, we'll be dealing a lot more with that as well. I don't know whether you've done a bit on there as well, Karen. I'm not sure. Karen, actually, maybe you could go through a scenario that we've just had today. Just tell us what your thoughts are on the contact. First of all, tell us where you got the contact from, how well you knew the contact. Karen invited me into a 3-way call with the gentleman, and yeah, I'll let you do the rest, Karen.
Well, so some of you might know my son Josh. Cynthia was brought in by Josh, and because he's been doing a lot of outreach, and we're just sort of beta testing various different sort of AIs, bots. I call them Josh's bots, and they automatically send out messages to. We've just been doing Instagram. And anyway, so I've been getting quite a good response this week. I've had about 15 people interested, but I've been dealing with them in the completely wrong way. And so anyway, this one that came back to me, Josh talked to Derek yesterday about it. And so we put him onto a call with Derek. And literally, Derek had him eating out of his hand. And just by talking to him, really, I think that is the key, is the personal touch and the personal contact, and where we've been, giving people what they want, when they've asked for information, just sending the information. And really, it's not really about that from what Derek's saying. It's really actually finding out about them and, what they're looking to get out of a passive income and so on, and just making it all about them rather than giving all the information about the project, because from what Derek was saying, it's not the project particularly, it's just really finding out their pain points or their what they want to get from a project. So Derek just led the conversation through all of that, what do they do, and how much money do they want to earn. And it turned out this guy had an Apple Watch. He's in Egypt. So once Apple Watch was mentioned, I think it was quite straightforward, wasn't it, Derek? Because really, there's not a lot of money for Apple people to come on board, really, and to be earning a passive income. But a lot of people, it seems, are worried about doing the sales side of it. And you made that very clear, didn't you? That it was really just recommending. It wasn't really doing the salesy stuff, which is what he was worried about as well. So
the guy actually said at the beginning of the conversation, I don't want anything to do with any affiliate business. I said, okay. And then I said, when we actually got him on side at the end, I said, well, now, if you're wearing an Apple Watch and you're making money, would it be difficult for you to share it with other people? And I said, it's about wearing, sharing, and then making money. Is that easy for you, do you think? And he said, yeah, that'd be really easy. And that was it, really. So it's really, and everything we talk about, by the way, things that John talks about, I talk about, they're all different and sometimes similar ways of doing things in a different way, but they all work. And that's the key. And it's a question of finding what works for you. Because remember, you've got to put your personality on it. What you don't want to do is come across as a robot, you know, reading off a page and telling people or asking people questions that you're reading as you go along. You've got, and the only way to get good at it is to have conversations. And I say to people, even at the very beginning, if you're having a conversation, you're not used to having a conversation, go without intent. In other words, have a few conversations where you're literally trying to find out about that person, their life, what they do, what they want out of life. I found out this guy was a young chap who wants to move out of home. He's got a girlfriend, they want a house. Okay, so that's a big motivator. So, you know, again, it's finding out what they want really, and then dovetailing into it. So there's lots and lots of different ways. And both, you know, John and I have ways that are the same and not the same, and they all work. You know, at the end of the day, what's very, very similar is that we're using the process of, you know, the occupation, recreation, and message, and that's key. And if you can make that your personality and fit your personality into that, it's really what it's all about. And people worry about it being crypto and everything else. Did I mention crypto at all to this guy today, Karen?
Yes, you did, but you explained it in a very easy way, and you know, I think that takes the fear out of it. If when you explained about it going onto the credit card, and that's how you get paid and things like that, wasn't it? You know, just
Yeah,
really
keep it
like a
simple. I
bank
mean,
account.
the
You know,
thing
you
is with people,
transferring
first of
money.
all, try and find out what they know. If somebody doesn't know about crypto, then obviously you've got to keep it very simple. If they know about crypto, great, get them to tell you what they know about crypto. Because if they know something about it, and you know, I had somebody recently said, yeah, crypto, I've made a lot of money. And I said, then you love this. That's all I had to say. You'll love this. You know, so and somebody else said to me quite a while ago, this was, is it network marketing? And I said, what do you know about network marketing? He said, I had a friend who made loads of money in that. And I said, you'll love this. So, you know, sometimes we assume because people ask about something that it's going to be a negative. So don't assume that, you know. Yeah,
There's other. I had a conversation with this young guy. He actually reached out to me because he was trying to sell me on his deal.
yes,
That's not happening. It's just not happening. But anyway, you mentioned me. It says, so what do you do? And I mentioned I like to throw in a few keywords, and I say there's a company's launched a blockchain-based technology that basically pays you to wear a health monitor. And because I said blockchain, he went, wow, blockchain, man, that I love blockchain. I've made loads of money in cryptos and all that stuff because I mentioned blockchain.
Yeah.
But if I mention blockchain and somebody like, well, what's blockchain? It doesn't matter. I don't need to explain it. If they don't know about it, I don't need to complicate things by explaining it. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Exactly. Definitely keep it simple. But yeah, any other questions? Linda, have you got any more questions? I know you had a few questions. Or anyone else? Yes, go on. Yeah, carry on.
Do have one question. I tried to friend you, but because Facebook doesn't think I know you, I'm unable to. So I sent you a message.
Okay.
It's like, you don't know this person.
So, I don't know whether you picked the wrong one. Hold on.
Derek
Milton,
just right back to Facebook and tell them you're on a Zoom call with this guy, so you do know.
Right, I know, right? Well, the one that I says,
yeah, what the problem
Derek
is, I'll tell you
Milton.
one problem. I used to have a Facebook until 2020 that had too many people in it, and it was all like, you know, people trying to pitch me on stuff. So I shut that down, but Facebook never shut it down. And I can't seem to shut it down. So I'll send you my link, okay?
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I have a question, and that is, does my receptivity, I would live in a rural area, does it affect my ability to have the system work in my home?
Well, the system doesn't work on wireless LAN, it works on Bluetooth.
Bluetooth, yeah.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, I have Bluetooth. So I'm just, but my phone does not connect, and my phone is connected to my network in my home, but not I have bad connectivity, so that doesn't matter.
No, it
Right.
doesn't matter because
Okay.
your watch speaks to your app through Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
Oh.
Yay.
I've got a question actually, which I brought up with Derek earlier, as to anybody know on this call, or probably you, John, whether if you're using a seed voucher for someone who's got an Apple Watch, does that work?
No,
No, that's what Derek said. Yeah.
no, it doesn't. Is the seed vouchers on the legacy offer, and it's basically ties them up. It basically gives them a level 1 NFT, the watch, the level 1 NFT, and the the $35. So that's all in there, but it doesn't work with Apple.
No. Okay. And yeah, and I assume that will be the same when Garmin and
Well,
Fitbit.
actually, saying that, I mean, it might do because they could. I don't know, because it's based around the watch and the NFT, the level 1. But if they don't need a device, then I don't know how that works.
The device, they could always sell the device, but that's a bit of a faff, isn't it? You probably better.
It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have another question. If that,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, Linda. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Oh, no. It is when you're helping someone understand what the advantages are to buying a higher level or getting whatever they're comfortable with. Can someone tell me what they say and whether or not somebody picks the $330 something level versus the level 4?
The basic answer to that is, it's first of all, you need to know, do they have a budget? If they've got a budget, then that limits their options. But if they don't have a budget, the higher the NFT, the more data blocks, the more they will earn on a daily basis. But the thing is that if somebody's a little bit strapped or tight for money, then the only disadvantage with that, if you want to call it a disadvantage, is their own personal rewards. See, unlike probably pretty much every other opportunity on the marketplace, that in order for you to get to the higher levels on the compensation plan, you need to either enter at a higher level or buy loads of products or something like that. As the last deal I was in, you had to be at a higher level, so you had to personally invest more money to get access to the higher levels. Here you could start off with a level 0 and still make a fortune from the SocialFi side of the business. So this is a beautiful model, because HealthFi, whilst it's great, getting personal rewards, and if it goes up to 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents or $1 or whatever, then you will definitely have a much higher gain in the increased value of your tokens. But that's just one side of it. The other side of it is unlimited SocialFi. It's not based upon which level of NFT. So just to give you the short version of that, the higher the NFT, the more data blocks, the more tokens you'll earn on a daily basis. But it depends on the budget.
Right. So when you say SocialFi, you're talking about sharing to create it.
Yeah, I mean, you get your 10% on any device, or the scales, or the biostrips, or the NFTs, or anything that is sold as a product. You get your 10% from direct sales, like people you directly introduce, and you get 3.5% of anybody below them, the team side of things.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I get it. All right. And yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. Oh, and I really appreciate the training, John. Great explanation of how to create leads and how to walk them through the process. You did a really great, fantastic job. So thank you.
There's one thing, thank you very much. That's very much appreciated, Linda. Thank you. But there's one thing, it's just popped in, and I'll pop it back out again, or I'll forget. When we talk about location, it doesn't necessarily mean Manchester, Glasgow, Sweden, whatever that location. Location could be a group. It could be you found them on the, I don't know, Business from Home group on Facebook, as I am a member too. So that's also a location.
Oh, awesome. Gotcha.
So that's where you start the conversation. Hey, Linda, I came across your profile. I see that we're both members of the MLM, I don't know, global group on Facebook. How are you doing? So that's a location as well, where you find the people.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
See, this is what I've found in my sort of worldly experience, that when you reach out to people, it's always good to have at least 2, possibly 3 points in the introduction that just makes it more credible. If you just reach in and say, hi, Linda, how you doing? Doesn't have much weight. Hi, Linda, I came across your profile in the MLM, Germany group. How you doing? So there's 2 points. Hi, Linda, I came across your profile on the MLM Germany group and saw that you're based in Washington State. It gives it more of a sort of connection than just saying one thing. You don't kick the rear end of it and say, hi, Linda, I saw you here. I saw you living here. I see your size 6 shoe and you've got brown. No, just, 2 or 3 different points and that's good.
Yeah. All right. Good tips. Thank you.
And the secret, but there is no secret. The only way, and this is, people like to sort of jump this spot and get good. The only way you get good is through being bad first. By practice. That is because I mentioned this in one of the trainings that when if you've got success here and you've got failure here, people try to avoid failure and move towards success. Well, you'll find that not one of them will ever move towards success, because to become successful, whether it's as a person or a father or a mother or as a coach, whatever, you've got to be bad first. Because it's who you become. Success is not an end result, but it's a result of who you become. It always follows who you become first. So that's why we need to get bad first before we can get good. So and deliberately go out there to have rubbish conversations if that's not something you're good at. Deliberately just pick on anybody that you know for a fact that would never join your business. And just practice and know that they're going to say no, and know that you're going to mess it up, but just practice. And then you can sort of up the ante and get better and move up to more quality people. That's a good way to practice. I used to just do that and just say, hey, listen, I'm not open. Yeah, fantastic. I don't, the purpose wasn't to see if you're open. The purpose was to practice my skills, develop my skills.
Yeah. I mean, I can see myself with saying to anybody wearing an Apple Watch, on the street, are you getting paid to wear that watch? Do you want to get paid
so
to wear
easy.
that watch?
No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
Very easy.
What are you talking about? I don't get paid to wear my watch.
I know, right?
Don't?
I can totally do that.
Yeah, you don't. Oh my God, you're not getting paid to wear that.
Paid to wear my
just,
watch.
just leave it there. Leave them cute. Like, what? Stop. What do you mean getting paid? How did I get paid? Well, I'll tell you what, download the Impersona Pro app. I'll send you a code.
Yep.
And have that conversation.
Yeah, just an interesting thing on it. I went to a networking event a while back and I joined somebody up. And in fact, there's 3 people waiting to join. But the interesting thing was I went to the networking event. They give you a minute or something to say something about whatever you're doing. I said, is anybody here wearing one of those Fitbits or Apple Watches, something to monitor your health? And all the hands went up. Surprisingly, there's a lot more people that wear them nowadays than I thought. But anyway, I said, okay, great. That's quite a few. So keep your hands up, guys, if any of those companies are paying you to wear them. And all the hands went down. I said, oh, interesting. Well, I found a way to get paid to do it. And then I shut up.
Genius.
And I had one person chasing me into the car park at the end because I hadn't actually had a chance to speak to her. She was a personal coach. She said, oh, by the way, can I get your details? Because I want to find out about this watch that you get paid for. So yeah, it's simple, really. You do keep it simple.
And so in order to learn what I will do next, all I have to do is go read in detail the getting started guide that Lolita sent me, and I'll know how to send them a link to download the Impersona app with my code. That's what I do next. Okay.
Keep it simple, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
And of course, you got lots of people to help you if you get stuck with that. But people generally call me all the time. I don't do anything else for a living, so I'm quite lucky in that sense. So I don't mind people contacting me at any time of the day. No weekends though. I do have my weekends off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just play with it, Linda. I mean, you're in a great space there. Just honestly, you can just have so much fun. Listen, I can see you wearing an Apple Watch as well. I'm just curious, do you get paid to wear that? What? Are you crazy? I don't get paid to wear it. Of course I don't get paid to wear it. Oh, and just leave it there. Just leave them hanging like, whoa, stop. It's come back, come back, come back, come back. Talk to me. What are we talking about here? Well, no,
Okay.
it is possible to get paid for it. Well, how? Well, I'll tell you what, you've got 5 minutes. Yeah. Download the Impersona Pro app. I'll send you a code. And then just, send them some information or get them started there. And then it's so easy. It's so easy.
Okay. I like that a lot. Get my kids doing it.
And here's the thing. See, when they get comfortable, this is just, I didn't want to speak about this session, but when you get comfortable, when they've got downloaded it and they see it and they're getting some daily rewards, just contact me a week later and say, hey, how are you getting on? Fantastic, great. Look at that. It's amazing, isn't it? Listen, do you know anybody else that might want to get paid for their Apple Watch? 1 or 2 people. I know tons of people. I always say 1 or 2 people because they'll go, no, I know loads of people. Oh, fantastic. Let's speak to a couple of those, and that's when you start building it. They don't even know they're building a group, but they are.
Sneaky. Love it. That's great, you guys. I'm psyched.
Anyone else? Any questions?
I did say that we would do some practice and role play, but I don't know if that would be any benefit at all because the only way
depends what you want to.
I said the only way really to because if we role play, you probably wouldn't remember. The best way to role play is to actually physically role play. Just have fun with it. Just have fun with it.
I'm gonna have to go. I'd like to role play, but I'm gonna have to go. So I don't want you to think I'm scared to chat with you guys more in role play, but I have another meeting coming up. But you are amazing. I'm so excited to meet you all, and I can't. And the next time that we get together is next Thursday. Is that?
Yep, that's right. Yep.
And so we have regular Thursday meetings.
Thursday meeting. It's more the Thursday meeting is more training and community and building up the community. The Monday and Thursday are presentations. So if you want to invite someone to a full-blown presentation.
Okay, Monday and Wednesday?
The Monday, Wednesday, yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Have an awesome day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, so there we go.
That was good, yeah. Did quite a bit covered there. Unless anyone wants to ask any more questions, then or even any issues that are having with anything or going back to people or whatever. Doesn't really matter. How are things going with you, Cynthia? Are you having more conversations?
Yes, I am. And I'm getting a lot of response on LinkedIn. I'm using the system that Laura Ward is showing. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Actually, we had a little breakfast party planned for Friday for tomorrow, but it seems like Dennis is going to have to go to work. So I'll just have one person out of, I think, 4. We're down to 1 now that's going to be listening in on my training call tomorrow. So
good.
Yes, I'm having a lot of fun.
Brilliant. And that's it. I mean, guys, don't take it too seriously. Have fun. People like people who are having fun. They like to be associated with people having fun. I wouldn't be in this if I wasn't having fun. I honestly wouldn't. And that's the key. Yeah.
You could do also a little bit, see what, because I've always got my phone with me, and on my phone's obviously my Halo and Impersona app, but you can have some fun with that. You just say, look, check this out, watch this. And I go into the VSE bit, I've earned, I think 2.9K or 3K or whatever in there. I say, look, and they can actually see it. They can see it. They can see some results. So it just gives it some validation, like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, because they probably don't believe I actually get paid to wear this wearable. But when I show them that I'm actually getting paid, they're like, oh, it's just curious. But it doesn't matter. Don't get emotionally attached to the result. If they're open or interested or not, it doesn't matter. We just go through the numbers. We stay professional. We're just looking for a decision.
Cool.
Yeah. And it all works. All these different things work. Speaking of that, John, I remember talking to an Asian gentleman. I could hardly understand what he was saying. went to meet him with someone else. Showed him the money. Next minute, he's calling people all over the place to speak to me on the phone. So, you know, it is really funny how it all works. You know, people see the proof and they go for it as well. Yeah.
You can also use the third party approach, and that makes you feel a little bit more confident.
Yeah.
Just when you have a conversation, just say, listen, I'm just curious, do you know anybody in your circles that wears an Apple? Most people know somebody that wears an Apple Watch because they're quite common. Just ask somebody, say, look, I'm just, curious. Do you know anybody at all, like in your friends, circles that wears an Apple Watch? Well, actually, I do. Oh, brilliant. Can you give me his telephone number or, whatever? Well, why? Oh, and then you have the conversation with this person that you just asked. Yeah, we're just looking to help some people that own an Apple Watch to actually make some money wearing the Apple Watch. What? What are you talking about? Well, have a look at this. This isn't an Apple Watch, but it's the same sort of concept, showing my VSC and stuff like that. So it's easy to get in the conversation. It's just easy. We're not talking about starting a business. We're not talking about making 10K a month. We're just talking about getting rewarded for wearing something you're wearing anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, John, for your talk today. It was really, really inspirational. Showed a lot of good stuff. And I've recorded it, so we will post that once it's come back. So I'll stop the recording now.